Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm your Evelyn No Shorty, and apologize for delaying this review. Some stuff went wrong yesterday, I had to scrap some stuff, but I'm finally here to review Sins of Sinister, Issue 1. When I say Issue 1, think of it more like an alpha of an event title, but which does make it a bit unusual. I usually do specifically go for Issue 1s when I'm reviewing them. I like the idea if you randomly come across my video, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, wherever, and you go, oh yeah, okay, I can. This is a comic book I'm vaguely interested in. It shouldn't have a lot of baggage with stuff that you may or may not have read. Reviewing issue 7 of something or whatever, it doesn't feel like you're going to get as much from it as if it's something you could just walk into a comic store, pick up, and not have to worry about reading anything else. And this is my first big criticism of the comic book, because I think there is a few factors which might be relevant to getting full enjoyment out of this story. The one that really hits me is I think it's worth knowing an awful lot about or at least knowing something about the power structure in Ka-Pow. There's the council, the Quiet Council, how decisions are made, and I think without knowing that, some of this may go over your head a little bit. It's not the worst thing in the world. Kieran Gillen is a fantastic writer, and the fact that he's kind of marshalling the 3 X-Men titles at the moment that leads to this event and the stories that can happen as a result of it, he clearly knows what he's doing, and he's done a really, really good job of setting everything up. Those writers and those are the comics, by the way, you've got Al Ewing doing X-Men Red, which is the one I'm not reading. I do think Al Ewing is a really good writer, but I just bounced off his first issue. It had just a little bit too much of a different kind of energy than I was wanting from it, and I was already at that point reading Legion of X by Simon Spurrier, which is it is absolutely amazing. Do apologise there. But, well, I mean, he's doing with high politics kind of ideals, the idea of police, or if you even need a law enforcement in a utopia. That's fantastic. I'm genuinely loving everything he's done. And then Kieran Gillen, who's doing Immortal X-Men, which is the big high concept kind of sci-fi stuff. And it's also the main setup for what's going on with what Sinister's been doing. And Sinister effectively has spent quite a bit of time now having reset buttons to go and try various things until he can get to a point where he can enact his plan. And his plan is effectively to take over the council and then take over the world and become something akin to or far superior to a god, because he is a narcissistic psychopath. And kind of the point of this comic book is what happens when that much power is in the hands of this person. A significant portion of the comic book is talking about the fact that Charles Xavier, could do the horrific, terrible things if he was so inclined, because he has the power. Nobody can stop him doing what he wants to do. And how terrifying it would be if Magneto had his powers instead. Would humanity have ever been able to survive? This kind of writing is very Ian and Banks, for me. It's like a culture kind of idea, or even some Star Trek kind of concepts. This idea that there are great, powerful advancements in technology and almost magical levels of technology, but the people who have them, who have earned them, who understand their limitations and the fact that they can be exceptionally dangerous and should not be in the hands of any random person, is why we keep they would have the Prime Directive or non-interference when it comes to, yes, technically these advancements could make the world a better place, but until you're ready to understand what the risks involved in them are, we have to say no for now and build up to it. When you've managed to create them yourself or you've earned them, then you'll know why they were good. Or why they can be good, why they can be limiting, and what you should and shouldn't do with them. These are all fantastic high concept ideas. And that's the crux of this story. We'll get back to why that might or might not be a good thing in a minute, but for now we're going to talk about the artwork as well. Because yes, Kieran Gillen's fantastic writer, brilliant characterization, some fantastic over-the-top ideas, while also being quite grounded, down-to-earth interactions between characters. But the artwork has this kind of similar-ish thing. There's an awful lot of single-page bits of artwork, which was fantastic, where the artist has a little bit of fun. Sorry, that's by the way, Lucas Wernick has quite a bit of fun playing with different stylistic choices. So you got some stuff which is Fantastic Four artworks, which is Eternals, and it all works to tell a story from different points of view. And they are beautiful and fantastic, and every single time it happens, it's worth watching and paying attention to the details of. Unfortunately, and this is my first criticism, sometimes the rest of the artwork, although it is dynamic and colourful and the characterization is fantastic, it feels a bit safe Marvel House style. Not a big surprise. If this is something which people can use to get into reading Marvel comics, particularly the X-Men comic books, you don't want something which is going to push people away by being over-the-top stylistically or obscure kind of artwork. My other big concern, and this is the big one for me, is the entire point of Sinister is that you can just keep trying things over and over again, find out how things work and keep trying until he gets it right. That built-in story concept basically means I don't expect anything to change at the end of this, because this story is going to jump to 10 years in the future, 100 years in the future, and 1,000 years in the future, and at any point, once all this is sorted out, if Sinister still just decides it hasn't worked the way he wants to, maybe he'll just press the button and go back, and we can ignore all of it, and nothing will change. And that's a very Marvel thing to do. They have this whole evergreen kind of thing of keep telling the same kind of stories in the same world, because they can do. The big change that Hickman did was fantastic, and I like the fact that none of that has been brushed under the carpet, but it feels like this entire event could very much just be, here's this cool thing we wanted to do. Here's some cool characters we wanted to show you. Here's some conceptual ideas we want to play around with. But in the grand scheme of things, the X-Men are just going to carry on being the X-Men, and the mutants are just going to do what they want to do, and that'll be the end of it. I could be wrong. I could be surprised. I mean, like I say, these are three fantastic writers. I'm fingers crossed, but even with those two quibbles, I still think this comic book is fantastic, and I'm looking forward to every one of the rest of this series. I think they're all going to do something great and are going to work really well together. That's it for me for now, though. I have gone over by an entire minute talking about this one. I'll hopefully be back tomorrow with another review. We'll see how it goes, but it's been a little bit chaotic at the moment, so we'll see how that goes. But until I see you again, look after each other, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.